Oftentimes I get asked the question, do I have to modernize if I want to move to the cloud? And the answer really is, it depends. Most customers will find that if their current application has been architected in a web-based capability and it's easily offered as a service, then no, application modernization isn't required. But if your application is 5, 10, 15 years old, the application architecture is more of a client-server architecture, or if you're required to have a separate database for each one of your customers, then more than likely, it's going to be a good idea to think about an application modernization project. Progress has delivered a cloud investment model, which outlines what are the different steps that you might look at as you think about making the move to the cloud. One of the key things that as you look at those different steps, it's important to understand what your current application architecture looks like and what you're trying to accomplish as you think about moving to the cloud. And that's many times where application modernization comes into play, because when you look at your current architecture, you might realize that in order to be able to gain more economies of scale or better efficiencies, it might require an application modernization project. One of the great things about app modernization is you can look at it as a very iterative process. You might first look at the user interface. And if somebody has a client-server application and it isn't necessarily architected for somebody to be able to very quickly and easily access the application via a web browser, then an application modernization project is required to really rethink that user interface. Once you get that going, then you might think also about the back end. Am I being as cost effective as possible? So one thing that many of our customers have realized is by looking at their current application architecture, and specifically their database, by doing an application modernization project and implementing, for example, multi-tenant tables, they're able to actually gain better economies of scale, reduce the cost associated with deploying their application as a service, obviously ending up with a better return on their investment as they look to move into the software as a service business model.